Many of the top NFL free agents in the 2022 class have found new homes, but there's still plenty of talent out there on the market. Matt, I got a very simple question for you. Starting on the defensive side of the ball, who's the most attractive free agent still available?
Well, I definitely think Stefon Gilmore is up there. This is a guy that is going to be one of the best corners in the league. He's a bona fide starter. Kind of just lost interest with him just because the Carolina Panthers were bad, not because he was exactly playing bad. This is a guy that can go on to any playoff contending or Super Bowl contending team and add value right away. I think Kansas City is definitely a location that he should be looking at, which pains me a little bit, but they've lost some key players in that secondary. Tre'Davious Ward, and then also Tyron Matthew. So you add him, that's a veteran leader. That's a guy that's going to be a clear starter for your secondary. And then maybe even a reunion with your team that originally drafted him in the Buffalo Bills. That would just add to a secondary that was the clear catalyst for their defense last season.
Yeah, it would make sense. And getting a lockdown corner in the AFC would probably come in handy with how loaded that division, that conference is with quarterbacks, receivers.
Absolutely need it.
That would make sense. You're talking about adding somebody to the Chiefs secondary, somebody who's leaving it is Tyron Matthew, and I think he's still the most attractive free agent on the defensive side of the ball, still available. The reporting in the last few days is that a lot of NFL executives believe that he's lost his step. And while that may be true with him turning 30 next month, what's also true is he's still one of the best safeties, one of the best leaders in the NFL. In 3 seasons with the Chiefs, he was a Pro Bowler 3 times, first team All-Pro twice, won the Super Bowl obviously with the Chiefs. And shout out to Nate Atkins for this, but for each of the 3 teams Honey Badger has played on, each of those 3 teams have won at least 11 games in the season. So this is a winner, and winning follows Tyron Matthew. He's the quarterback of your defense. He brings unreal leadership, and I would love to see him in Indianapolis with the Colts. They just got their quarterback and Matt Ryan on the offensive side of the ball. Getting Tyron Matthew would bring that quarterback to the defensive side of the ball. Pairing him up with Darius Leonard, one of the best linebackers in the game, would give that defense a 1-2 punch. That again, in the AFC, you're going to need defenses that can compete and run with the top quarterbacks in the league. But get Honey Badger to Indy. That's what I like to see. But offensive side of the ball, what do you think? Who you liking?
Well, I mean, first I'll say this. It does not pay to doubt the Honey Badger.
At all.
It's happened before, and he always proves us wrong. So don't doubt the Honey Badger.
Also, one more thing about Honey Badger, his record. And, typically we like to associate that with quarterbacks. But, again, this is quarterback of your defense. 98, 46, and 1. I'd take that.
Yeah. And a ring.
And a ring.
And a ring. But on offense, I'm going to go offensive line. I mean, you've seen the offensive line be a priority for a lot of these teams, the Dolphins, the Bengals. Last year, Kansas City went out and really just completely revitalized their offensive line, and it did wonders for them. So I'm going to go J.C. Tretter, the veteran center out of Cleveland.
Still can't believe he was even released by Cleveland.
I mean, it's very surprising considering that they're bringing in a quarterback, and Tretter had an unbelievable season, one of the best offensive linemen in the game. He played 16 games, only gave up 1 sack, and had 5 penalties. And during his 5 years in Cleveland, he's missed just 1 game. This is a guy that you add to a team and you automatically shore up the inside of your offensive line. And he's going to be a veteran leader on whatever team he goes to. Now, the obvious choices for Tretter and the teams that should be going after him are the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. They've been the most aggressive about addressing their offensive lines. And Tretter would honestly finish those moves for those teams and shore up the biggest liabilities for both of those offenses.
Definitely. Tretter is, again, you mentioned it, one of the best centers in the league, and he's going to make an offensive line unit instantly better. And I like those spots. Him in Miami would be awesome. Cincinnati as well. Both teams have already, like you mentioned, addressed the offensive line already in free agency. Tretter would just be kind of really just icing on the top of the cake.
Absolutely.
But on the offensive side, I started off with LSU alum with Tyron Matthew. I'm going to stay with it with OBJ. This is somebody who I think obviously deserves another big time shot. We just saw him in LA. He played 12 games with the Rams, scored 7 touchdowns in those 12 games. Obviously in the Super Bowl as well, this man was unstoppable before the injury. Jalen Ramsey said recently that if he didn't get hurt, tore his ACL in that Super Bowl, he probably would have won Super Bowl MVP. That's how unguardable he was on football's biggest stage. And obviously the ACL recovery, that's going to be a question mark. But if anybody can return to form from that, I think it's OBJ. And this is something the reporting, again, has been there that he's open to a return to Cleveland. That's what I would like to see, getting him back, or not back, but getting him back in Cleveland with a Deshaun Watson alongside Amari Cooper, where, again, he doesn't have to be the number one receiver with Amari Cooper in town. Kind of that 1-2 punch with that run game, that offensive line, and the Deshaun Watson, the top 5 quarterback. That would be something special. So that's going to do it for us, though. Can't wait to see where these top free agents land, see how the rest of the free agency pans out. But catch us on tomorrow's episode of Simple Question. For Scott Proctor and my guy, Matt Morris, right here. We'll see you then.